Okay guys, this is a piece of those under layer screen, whatever you want to call that on LCD screens. It will be used to help those propeller blades. This is the thick part. If you know, there's 3 of them. This one is the one that stands, I think, in the bottom, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's another thinner one, then a very thin one, that's the white one. And I chose the thicker one here that we're gonna cut and put over the propellers, kind of tracing them to make them a little bit wider and better. I already opened this fan, as you see right here, so I don't think there's a need to really tell you how to open a fan. But in a second, we're gonna see here how to improve the design of these blades to output better air. So now here, these blades look beautiful as a flower, but other than that, they're not efficient at all. This design has a big flaw, especially when it comes to aerodynamics and the air being drawn in and passed through. This blade acts almost as if it's flat. It's acting as only working at 40%, as you see there. That is 40% of its potential. But if we expand the rest, which is the 60% of that blade, and make it a little bit flatter, you will see that this increases the air input and, of course, the air output. So from this point, I will extend it, as you see, at least as far as I can visually. We'll cut those pieces from that TV stuff and put them with super glue, obviously, and we'll see where that goes. Okay, I'm just gonna cut a piece here so it makes it a little bit easier to cut later, so I don't end up wasting a lot of it, even though, of course, some pieces are gonna be wasted. But first, I'm just gonna go through a cut right here, and then we're gonna cut the pieces for each individual blade from this part, so I can save the rest of it, maybe for another fan or another project, because I have in mind to make a project of a fan that will be hanging on the wall, a vertical fan, not one of these flat ones, and we'll see how that works. Anything I can do to show you guys at least what works for me to save you money on energy and make life a little bit better, especially these high temperatures. Now this propeller, these blades will be changed. We'll try to probably reshape the way they interact with the air. And just in a minute here, we're gonna cut pieces from that stuff and we're gonna trace it. Probably at least the first one I'm gonna trace, so I have a better idea of how much I need. Then the rest probably will just copy from this one. And let's see if I can put it from above, or I think from above would be a little bit easier because I can see through, as you see here. This is actually quite thick, but you can see through. That's the deflector or diffuser, whatever you want to call that, on LCDs, or at least used to be. I think in the new ones put it too, but I'm gonna just trace it, and then after that I'm gonna probably add what it needs, and I put the clamp intentionally where that 40% kind of ends, which is the most powerful part of this blade. And now in this part I'm just tracing it, but that's where we will add that extra that we need to work with. And yes, that will be the 80%. We don't touch on this side, and that's around 30 degrees cut, I would say, to go straight from there to achieve almost a flat surface on the part that pushes the air. So it grabs with a part that's on the side that's oval, but when we are talking about to do the output of the air, we need that angle. We need a bigger surface to push that air. So we create almost like a, what I would call a forced air that actually gets it a little bit colder. Believe it or not, if you force air from a smaller space to a larger one, so you force it to go through it, it becomes a little bit colder. That's just how air works. And now, don't ask me how I know it, because I just like to do things and explore things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it works, I sure will tell you towards the end of this video as much as I can explain, because that will not be easy to explain how these blades rotate and push that much air, since I don't have one of those air things to tell you how much air is being pushed. And without wasting time, we're gonna start cutting some of these blades, and we'll see you in a minute. as you see here, that's how the blades look. That is the extra part that I'm talking about to increase that air output. So I think this will work because that's how most of the commercial blades are designed. And now it's time to just put it together again, which is not always the easiest part, but somebody has to do it, right? And that's gonna be me. And just like that, it is done. Well, now we have to plug it, and all the screws and everything is put together. Let me just put it here on the socket real quick. And I wish I could show you physically how good or bad it's gonna work, but hey, let me try it first myself, and we'll probably hear my reaction. Whoa! Okay, now this changes a lot. This seriously changes the game here. Camera definitely doesn't do a good job here. Let me lower the speed to the lowest it has, and as you see, the blades look very shiny, which I kind of like that. But the airflow, wow, now that is some serious upgrade or mod here that really makes this fan much better than it was. I don't understand why in a factory they didn't do it, but here now these sides on the edges used to not really push that much air. Most of the air was within 2.5 inches on the middle, but the rest of it was not really pushing any air. And now it's seriously pushing air up to the very edge of it. And this is a big deal. Just that addition that we did right here added just enough air to make it a true wind tunnel. So now the output has increased, I would say, almost one time. So that means twice of what it was initially. So let me see if I can demonstrate some of it here with this piece here, but it's gonna be hard. Before, it would not really blow that piece, and now yes, boom, it just blew it out of there because it has a lot of air output. And before, this piece actually would kind of go in the center or just go rest on the sides, but now the sides are pushing as much air as the center. Now let me see on the back, because that's part of it too, and let's see if it sucks that paper. Oh yeah, this one sticks there. You don't even need to push it. Look, boom, and it actually stays there. This is really beautiful. Even though initially this was $30 or $40, right now, not to brag, but I would say it's worth at least $60 to $80 just with this mod that we did on it. It seriously pushes some air. And as you see, of course, I lost it because that's how it works here. And I just wish I could show you physically how it really feels in front of that fan. Seriously pushes air as much as my Ryobi, which I thought was the strongest fan I bought. This one really does a great job. And now I think this is just really a good fan overall to have around, and I think it's done. And it actually looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I'm not really a person that cares too much about the looks as much as the function, because to me function matters more than anything here. And yes, I intentionally left that piece that was with the markings on it too, so it works. The air comes out, air goes in from the back, and we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe this channel, and I hope you learned something from this one. Bye!